Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Atma Najihah Binti Jamali and I am going to explain about my model rover which I call as Atmars. First, I'm going to explain about the camera part. So as you can see here, there are three parts of the camera. First one is the main camera, the second one is navigation camera, and the third one is the Mars cam. The first part is the main camera. It gives a human-scale perspective on its environment. It can identify the surrounding of the Mars like the rocks and the hills. It also can identify any hazard in front of the rover. The small hanging camera that we have here is navigation camera. It can navigate the rover to drive around the Mars. It also can decide its own direction without getting the consulting controller on Earth. The last part is Mars cam. The Mars cam can record taking picture at low speed and even high speed. It have high resolution video and pictures. Next we have ultra high frequency antenna. Its job is to communicate with Earth through NASA's orbiter around Mars. They can act like a walkie-talkie because the rover and orbiter antenna are within close range of each other. This can give the rover a high data rate on the relatively short distance relay link to the orbiter overhead. The shiny box we have here is actually the computer. The computer is the brain of the rover. It gives the commands to the rover. It's not just a computer, actually it is a high-tech computer. It can record and analyze all the data that the rover collects. It also can communicate with Earth by reporting all the data back to Earth. Next one is the microphone. It used to record the sounds on Mars. It also helps study the Mars rock and soil by identifying the mineral and rock composition. Other than the ultra-high frequency antenna, we also have low-gain antenna. Its function is to send and receive information in every direction. We move on to the high-gain antenna. The high-gain antenna is steerable. It can point its radio beam in a specific direction, so it does not need to change its position to talk to Earth. It also allows higher data rates on the long link back to Earth. So overall, its job is to transmit the data directly to and from Earth. Next one is the arms. The arm that we have here consists three parts: the drill, the X-ray box, and the vacuum. This is the X-ray box. It has an X-ray spectrometer that identifies any obtained element in a tiny scale. It helps to seek any signs of past life of any living thing that live on Mars. Also, this is the tube that connects the X-ray box and the sample storage. Here we have a pair of sticks, which is actually the drill. It can penetrate into the surface of the Martian or the Mars ground. It also can break off the rock sample to take a sample from the interior of the rock. Between the drill, we also have the vacuum. Its job is to suck in all the sample that obtained after the drill do its job. The vacuum is connected to the X-ray box. Next, we have the most important part of the rover, which is power resources. The power resources provide energy and electricity to the rover, which means without the power resources, the rover will never move. Power source converts heat from the natural radioactivity K of plutonium into electricity. The power resources protected with several layers of strong material to maintain its safety. Next, we have the sample storage. The sample storage is connected to the arms with the tube. It stores all the obtained sample. In the sample storage, it has a temperature controller. The function of the temperature controller is to maintain the sample's temperature at the optimum level so that the sample won't damage before it flies back to the Earth. Here we have the ground penetrating radar or GPR, which is a geophysical locating method that uses radio wave to capture images below the surface of the ground in a minimally invasive way. This way, the rover can collect the data of the underground of the Mars. So here is the tube that connects the arm to the sample storage. The obtained sample will pass through the tube and straightly go to the sample storage. The material that used in making the tube is a strong material that can withstand the radiation. Next, we have the front camera. It is actually located at the lower part of the rover. Front camera is attached to the edge of the rover. Its function is to censor any hazard that comes from the lower part of the rover. It is actually a 360 rotating camera that can identify the surrounding from the lower level. Here we have the rear camera. The rear camera is located at the bottom of the rover. Just like the front camera, its function is to censor any hazard that come from the lower part of the rover. For example, the large rocks, trenches, and sand dunes. The last part of the rover is the wheel. For this rover, it has 6 wheels in total. For each side, they have 3 wheels that connected together. The wheel is made of a shape memory alloy composed of nickel and titanium. These alloys bend and twist like other metal. What makes them different is their atomic structure, which tends to resume its original shape after the alloy is bent, stressed, or deformed. The strong material alloy makes the wheel can handle rough and rocky surface of the Mars. So the rover can withstand any obstacle ahead when the rover is moving and make the rover move smoothly without any problem. So this is the final look of the rover. To sum up, the rover that I built have so many structures that can handle many problems in Mars that previous rover that ever landed in Mars faced. But also it have the pros and cons. Therefore, I hope my rover will be well judged by the judges. That's all from me. Thank you for watching and listening.